Hello students and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about adding integers. All right, this is kind of like a very core concept that you have to grasp before you move on in algebra. You got to know how to be adding positive and negative numbers and get the right outcome. All right, so these are the rules we're going to go over. The goal for today is learn the rules for adding integers. The first one we're going to go over is when it's a positive number and a positive number. When you do that, you just add them together and then you get a bigger positive. All right, so that's the most easy, straightforward one. That's rule one. Rule two is when you have a negative added to a negative, the outcome is a bigger negative. So you're combining the two negatives. So you're adding them together and then the outcome is going to be negative. All right, so that's the second thing you got to understand. This last one is probably the one that is the trickiest. When you have a need a new marker. So when you have a negative and you're adding it to a positive, really what you're doing is you're subtracting and you're keeping the sign of the bigger number. So whichever number has a larger absolute value, meaning like the bigger number, that is the one that you keep the sign of. All right, so let's do some quick examples here. All right, so let's say example one. Let's say we have negative 10 plus 3. All right, negative 10 plus 3. I have a negative and a positive, so I look at this rule. I know that I'm going to subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number. So negative 10 plus 3. Subtracted is 7. But since it's a negative 10, that's the larger number of the two, I'm going to keep the negative sign. All right? So that's how you would do when you have a negative and a positive. And it doesn't matter which position the negative sign is in, it's always the same thing. All right? Let's do another example. Example 2. Let's say we have negative 10 minus 3. Negative 10 minus 3. Notice, now we have two negative signs. So this is like the second rule here that we have. So a negative and a negative, I know that I add, and I know my outcome is going to be negative, a bigger negative number. So negative 10 minus 3. I'm going to add them together. So 10 plus 3. 10 plus 3 is 13. But since they're negative, I know that it's going to be a negative number. All right. So that's how we would do that one. And the last one is just when you have two positive numbers. All right. It's just, let's say example 3. Say we have 10 plus 3. Well, they're both positive, so I know I just add them, and my outcome is going to be positive, which is going to be positive 13. All right, so hopefully this helped you understand how to add integers. And really, with this, it's just all practice. So you got to make sure that you are, number one, you have this written down in your notes. So everybody have this in your notes. We have our first rule, our second rule, our third rule. And that's all you really got to know about adding integers. All right, hope that helped. See you guys later. Have a good day. Goodbye.